Hey, this is Joe Price. I just wanted to show you something we built in our lab. It's a computer-generated tree in which we've linked together people across US censuses. Our computer-generated tree includes over 120 million people, but I want to show you how we can take a little piece of the computer-generated tree for maybe a specific surname or a specific place and use it to generate possible duplicates and hints and just help you see where we might need to fill in some empty gaps on the family tree. So let me show you how this works. This is for Sanpete County, Utah. Just a friend reached out about a project, and so I decided to create one of these for Sanpete County. And I just wanted to highlight how this works. So the computer-generated tree is right over here. So you have ARC 1880, 1900, 1910, 1920, 1930, 1940. We actually have it going all the way back to 1850, but we just decided to focus on the most recent years. And then what we can do is we can check to see if any of these arcs are connected to someone on the family tree. And so then we have a list of PIDs over here. So right here, I just wanted to highlight this one where on the family tree, this arc is attached to a PID. This arc is attached to a PID, and it's the same PID. But notice that there's no corresponding attachment for 1920, 1930, even though our census tree has predictions of what those should be. So you can actually then set up a hint. You could use this PID, this arc, put those together, and now you have a source link or URL. So same thing down here, you can see that our census tree has 1880, 1910, 1920, 1930, whereas the family tree just has 1880, 1910. So we could take this PID, attach it to this arc, and we got a hint and a hint right here. The other thing is notice that these two PIDs are not the same, which means that our computer-generated tree thinks that all of these are the same person, whereas the family tree thinks that these are different. And, there's two possibilities. One is the census tree or our computer-generated tree is wrong, which would be great to know, or it's possible that these two people are duplicates. And so if we merge them together, then they'll have the same PID. Let me just kind of scroll down just to show you how big this is. This is just for Sanpete County. So it has about 33,000 people. And notice all these last ones have a 1940 in the computer generated tree. So right there would be a hint, right there would be a hint, there would be a hint, there. Those would all be cases where we could do hints. And then anytime you look horizontally, you're just checking to make sure all the PIDs are the same. And anytime you find a row where the PIDs differ, that's a way to then merge a duplicate. So let me then show you how we can use this to create some tasks. So first of all, here's the possible duplicate tab. And so this is just looking for examples like that first one where we have the computer generated tree saying that these people are all the same and the family tree saying that they might have different PIDs at least. So then we can actually come in here and set up a task where we can show you these two side by side. So if you look at this, these people don't look the same at all. So you might be like, why did the computer generated tree think that these are the same person? Well, what you can do is you can come down here and look at the sources and say, are there any of the sources that shouldn't belong to this person? So as we scroll down, you start to see this one for Walter C. Whitlock. So you notice everything else is Homer C. And then you have this Walter C. that kind of just sticks out. Okay, so let's take a look at this. And so we can then go and review that. And if we don't think it's a match, we could unconnect that. Okay, so we can then view it in Source Linker and we can say, okay, what could possibly be going on here? And we could hit change, look at the dad. Okay, so you can see that, for whatever reason. So this Walter C does seem to fit here. So this is one where I'd probably have to do a little bit more research, but you can see then why might be some confusion on the family tree if it's connecting this Walter C. Whitlock to a different Walter C. Whitlock. That would be kind of a little mystery we could dig into. So we could just say here, so in the sheet, put Joe Price, check 1930 census. So let's just try one more. So if you can see in this case, it looks like it's already been merged. So it says these two people cannot be merged because one of them's been deleted. So that's one we would just need to write some code to take. And maybe just try one more. Here, again, we have one that's not a very good match at all. So this might be a case where there's a source attached. I'll check on that. So let me just try one other case. So right here, it says, okay, the sex must match. Okay, so if we click here, you can see this person has 24 sources attached. This person has 0 sources attached. It does have this one hint to the 1940 census. And so let's take a look and see what's going on here. So you can see here they are in the 1940 census. This one is attached to that other person. So you can see that for whatever reason, this person got created and then never got merged because the gender's wrong. You can see this was all back in 2016. Okay. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to change the gender to what it really should be. And you can, if you see what kind of caused trouble was that Gene was labeled as male in the census. And if you went and looked at the image, it might have been a transcription error or maybe just an enumeration error. But now that we have fixed that, we can come back here and we can actually merge these two people together. So these are all things that we can do just to make the tree for Sanpete County connected, more complete. Okay. Show you the last tab, and just keep in mind these possible duplicates, especially in Utah, are really, really hard. So I'll show you some record hints. Okay, so again, I can put my name in here. I can click on one of these. Now, record hints are easier than possible duplicates, but there's still things you have to be really careful about. So let's see here. Looks like Rada's already attached. Let's take a look. There's her dad, George. And notice right down here, we have a George. Let's look at the details. You can see that that is a very good match. And then we will attach that by going compare, add, and we have these grandchildren. They're really hard because if you look, there's a whole bunch of boys in the family. So they're probably not the children of Rada because her last name would have been Lund, and she would have been too young anyways to have those children. So they're probably, I don't know, that's a, sure, it's a little hard to tell whose grandchildren they are. It doesn't seem to fit any of these. So I don't know, I'd have to do a little bit more research on there, but you can see that the George wasn't too hard to attach. And here's just another one where here we have a Joanna Peel. You can open it up. You can see that's great. And then we have this Jane Peel down here. And actually, if we look in the family, we can see that. And so again, what we're doing is we're helping ensure that people have all the census records attached so that we can start to someone's entire census history. So that's the last thing I want to show you is in the computer generated tree. One thing you can do is actually look for gaps. Now, one thing we did is we grabbed the birth year and the death year so we could know which census that they shouldn't be in. So this person right here died in 1938, so they shouldn't be in the 1940 census, but they should be in 1910 and 1920. So one thing you could do is go to this person right here, maybe do a little bit of research and see if maybe you can find them in 1910. So there's no record hints here. So what I often will do is I'll go take a look at them over in an Ancestry and see if maybe Ancestry has some suggestions on who. So basically find them in a record. And then over here, you're going to get some possible matches. And I like to just kind of look down this list and see. Now, so here we have a possible match in 1910. And so again, then I could look closely. So you can see here, Edwin D. Smith, Elizabeth S. Smith. That looks like a really good match, living in Bingham, Idaho, which is, if we looked at her other sources, we could probably see that that's, you know, a very likely place that might show up in some of the other census records for her. So then the last thing I need to do is just get family search to try to find it. So let me show you how to do that really quick. So you can see here, there's a source we could potentially attach. And then we're coming down here. Seeing it's not showing up. So what I will often do is I will just put into family search exactly the way that it shows up on Ancestry. Let's try this. Oh, you can see the problem is her birth year fell out of range. Sometimes I find deleting some stuff is helpful. Maybe just having, and then we'll hit search. Okay, here's that record we are looking for. Nope, it's this one. Nope, it's not. Let's see. And we could even put in maybe let's try the residence place. So basically, we just got to get family search to find that exact record. Ooh, crazy, look at that. So, and we're looking for a 1910 census, Elizabeth F. Smith. Huh, super weird. It has a different spouse right here. Let's take a look. Super, super weird. So I'll have to look into this more. This might be something because that's definitely the same person. So my guess is that maybe we had the record kind of split apart, but I'm still going to attach this. And then what I'm going to do is go look for Edwin D. Smith. They might have just cut the image wrong. So I'll have to kind of poke. This is a really, this was a really kind of hard case. And it looks like, so again, I would try to find him. Sorry to use up the video time for this, but this is kind of an interesting little mystery song. You just kind of delete some of these extra things. So let's see, he was born 1878 in England. When just make it as easy as possible. Again, we'll put in the residence place. So there's that record. See, notice here in the family search record, he's just kind of sitting there all by himself. We'll take a look at the image here in just one moment. It's attached. This is definitely that same thing. And so let's take a look at the image. Just see what might be going on here. Zoom in right here. Okay. Oh, you can see that actually, so this is a case where actually Family Search did get it right. So you can see Elizabeth S. Smith, Edwin D. Smith, head, wife. They're trying to point an arrow saying it's that one. Family Search got it with the one above. And I have noticed this, Ancestry's done a lot of great work to get the families correct. And so this is a case now that we've attached those sources. That's probably why it was overlooked for such a long time. But now the cool thing is now we found Elizabeth in 1910, and then we could do a little bit more detective work to find her in 1920. And sometimes what I'll do in this case is I'll just put in the three little dots so other people know that I found it. But I guess that's the last thing I want to share is the cool thing about these Google Sheets is they can become a really great way to collaborate as a community to try to make sure that everyone that lived in your community is complete on the tree, that their census complete. And you can see a lot of these people are census complete. So this person born 1887, died in 1933, and we actually have every single census record attached to the tree that happened during their lifetime. So we would call that person census complete. But hopefully what this video shows is how the computer generated tree can talk to the family tree and can help give record hints and also identify possible duplicates. And as we resolve those duplicates, then we'll start to have more people that are census complete, and we'll be able to resolve any issues where the PIDs are not the same. So thanks for giving this project a try. Again, we can create these computer generated trees for different places, different surnames, make it a real personalized experience in terms of trying to make the tree as complete as possible.